Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so fresh off the debate, it literally just ended. Instantly opening the microphone here, we all had our preconceived notions, certain expectations of what was to come here, and there was one thing that you heard quite commonly, and it was that Kamala Harris had to knock it out of the park. She needed a home run. After avoiding the press, or really avoiding any human interaction there for almost a month and a half, basement Kamala that is, she had a lot to answer for. She had to show up and really deliver a substantive message to the people as to why she should be president and why she's so much different than the last 3.5 years of Joe Biden. And now the question is, did she hit that mark? Well, I'd say if you looked at the thumbnail and the title of this video, nope, not even close. What an absolute slow motion train wreck that was for Kamala Harris's bid here for the White House. I know some people seem to have the scorecard pretty close, but maybe it's a matter of perspective. I saw complete Mike Tyson style domination. I saw Shaquille O'Neal in his prime. The key simply belongs to him. A total mismatch contest here. Kamala Harris proved one thing and one thing alone, and that's that she's as fake as the Chinese goods that Donald Trump is trying to tariff. We're about to smoke this cackling clown. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Let's pull up the thumbnail here. I mean, this is pure expression for me. This is exactly what I saw, initial reaction. I think the first 30 minutes are probably the most important part of the debate. You gotta form that initial reputation, your first impression, and Kamala just came off, honestly, like an MSNBC drone. It felt like I was being forced Clockwork Orange style to sit through an hour of MSNBC's Rachel Maddow.
What you're gonna hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again. Very well known that Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. On that point, Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath if this and the outcome of this election is not to his liking. Let's remember Charlottesville, where there was a mob of people carrying tiki torches, spewing anti-Semitic hate. And what did the president then at the time say? There were fine people on each side. Well, I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for national security crimes, economic crimes, election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault, and his next big court appearance is in November at his own criminal sentencing. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. President of the United States incited a violent mob to attack our nation's capital, to desecrate our nation's capital. On that day, 140 law enforcement officers were injured, and some died. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages.
Yep, here we go again. Donald Trump is some sort of Sith Lord. He's an exterminator from Doctor Who. He's every fascist and every supervillain ever concepted, ever imagined, combined. It was literally every tired talking point that you have heard 1,000,000 times, over and over again. Donald Trump's a convicted felon. He's in court in all these cases. He's an insurrectionist. Project 2025, he'll sign a national abortion ban. Most of it, just a flurry of constant, untrue statements meant to fearmonger. Just partisan nonsense. I mean, this debate wasn't even close. First of all, there's the highlights.
In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now, if you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? They have the right to do it. The President of the United States, you'll get him out of bed, you'll wake him up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll say, come on down to the office, let's sign a bill. I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time on the beach. I don't say her because she has no policy. Everything that she believed 3 years ago and 4 years ago is out the window. She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. She's gone to my philosophy. But We're playing with World War III, and we have a president that we don't even know if he's... Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
He's definitely winning in charisma in terms of the competition of it all. He's winning on the details. I mean, at that one moment when he's calling out Biden and Harris for shutting down the Keystone pipeline while simultaneously greenlighting Russia's Nord Stream pipeline straight to Germany, you know, Trump's hitting on the facts, getting into the actual details of it, hitting back with receipts, actual experiences, anecdotes of what actually happened, debunking the constant claims, and taking on the moderators while he was at it. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, just the same pre-rehearsed nonsense and sassy-looking faces. Project 2025. Holy frickin' moly, I couldn't even believe that she even would go there. Charlottesville? Project 2025? Trump's gonna sign an abortion ban? I mean, she literally delivered a pre-rehearsed line about Trump signing an abortion ban when 5 seconds earlier, Trump literally went on the record claiming he would never sign it. This thing wasn't even close. And you gotta view it from the undecided voters' perspective. You know, Democrats, of course, are sitting there going, slay queen, oh my god, Kamala Harris. She's our mommy savior. You know, and there's the partisan right-wing people who are looking at Trump like Rocky Balboa, just delivering the combos nice and right. Those two sides already made up their minds. It's the people in the middle. The people who, frankly, have a baseline view generally that politicians tend to be full of it. Kamala Harris had to come in and essentially explain to the people who she was and kind of counter all the stories that have been permeating in the press. But I don't think she achieved that, not even close. I don't think she won on any issues either. I mean, for Pete's sakes, people are scoring this as a close match. Kamala Harris didn't even win on abortion. When challenged on whether or not she'd support the medical procedure up till 9 months, she went on and gave a wordy, word salad non-answer, just completely avoiding taking a stance. They were expecting to make Donald Trump look extreme, but Donald Trump simply said, and frankly, I thought he explained his perspective quite clearly, that the whole idea was to send it back to the states, to allow democracy to happen on more of a local level, where the different states can have their local values represented on a government level. You know, I think a lot of people kind of understood, and really we contrast it with what they're saying in the media 24/7, Donald Trump's so extreme, taking your rights away, yada yada yada. You know, they portray it as if he's some sort of demonic figure going around shutting down Planned Parenthood clinics. The reality is much different, and I think a lot of people probably had their eyes opened in that moment, that Donald Trump doesn't represent what the left claims he does. I mean, the talking points were just weak, and there was one common denominator throughout the entire experience, and that was just pure, unadulterated fear-mongering. Kamala Harris's message wasn't, this is my plan for the nation, even though she said the word plan or I have a plan a million different times, while the entire time failing to actually produce any semblance of a plan.
I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans and let's compare the plans. I have a plan.
No, the message wasn't a vision or a plan. The message was Orange Man bad, Orange Man scary. Orange Man this, Orange Man that. She blamed the pandemic on him. She blamed the economic damage from the pandemic, mostly caused by local Democrat policies. She blamed that all on Trump. Afghanistan was his fault. Everything's his fault. And she's the solution to all the problems. Everything was over-dramatic, emotionally driven, meant to scare people, rather than get into important details. You know, Trump was explaining how he's going to end the wars, for instance. He talks about his experience working with some of these top dictators, and the Democrat message, and what Kamala kept going on about, was that Donald Trump just wanted to be best friends with Vladimir Putin. Oh, he's cozying up to dictators. What a tired old talking point. There was no substance, it's all just an emotional game that Kamala has played her entire career, speaking in empty platitudes and making it seem as if her opponent is some sort of galactic warlord covertly working for the Russians. It's just so tiresome and just so whack. And I think it was on pure display for those who are keen enough to have the eye to see it. You know, I just think independents saw it. And at the end of the day, I still think Donald Trump has the most compelling argument, and that's this one.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
They've been in charge for 3.5 years, and now here's Kamala saying she's going to fix all the problems and usher in a socialist utopia of everybody's dreams. But of course, we've seen it hundreds of times throughout history. This big government socialist promise always leads to economic devastation. In other words, what they've been doing for the last 3.5 years. Anyways, that's it. That's my assessment of the debate. At least that's my initial early reaction. I'll probably be going into more detail in some other videos here. I have a couple more ideas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.